సార్ చూస్తాను. సార్ వస్తుందండి చూడండి.
Check, check, 1, 2, 3, check. Check, 1, 2, 3, 4, check. Check. Check, check, 1, 2, 3, check. Testing, check.
same the behavior and same the forest.
On the left side, which is congestion. Mic check.
కెమెరా దగ్గర ఉన్నాను. చెక్ 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 కెమెరా ఆడియో వస్తుందా?
I request all to kindly be seated in their respective seats. My hearty pranams to the Honorable the Chief Justice of High Court of Andhra Pradesh, Honorable Mr. Justice Sri Dheer Singh Thakurji, Honorable Mr. Justice Sri G. Narendra Garu, Chairperson, Juvenile Justice Committee and Senior Judge of High Court of Andhra Pradesh, Honorable Members of Juvenile Justice Committee and Judges of High Court of Andhra Pradesh, Honorable Srimati Justice V. Sujata Garu, Honorable Dr. Justice V. R. K. Krupasagar Garu, Honorable Srimati Justice Venkata Jyotirmayi Pratapa Garu, Honorable Srimati Justice Kiranmayi Mandava Garu, the other esteemed judges of the High Court of Andhra Pradesh, Honorable Registers, Honorable Member Secretary and Secretary High Court Legal Service Committee, distinguished functionaries of various departments of Government of Andhra Pradesh, respected judicial officers, voluntary organizations and NGOs, children and parents present, and print and electronic media, ladies and gentlemen, a very pleasant morning to the one and all. It's my absolute honor to invite this august gathering and to extend a word of warm welcome to today's the annual state level Stakeholders Conference 2024, in short TASSC 2024, on protection of rights of children living with disabilities, with a special focus on children in conflict with law and children in need of care and protection, conducted by the Honorable High Court of AP in association with the Government of AP Department of Women, Children, Differently Abled and Senior Citizen. It's our fortune today to have this program in the august presence of His Lordship Honorable Sri Justice Dheer Singh Thakurji, Honorable the Chief Justice. His Lordship's very presence today underscores the importance of this cause and the commitment of our judiciary to uphold the rights of our most vulnerable citizens. We are extremely fortunate enough to be backed by a very motivated, dedicated Honorable Sri Justice G. Narendra Garu, The chairperson of Juvenile Justice Committee, who within a short span of time had sent a message across that he is a man on mission, but for whose constant persuasion, bird's eye view, this program has seen the light of the day. Through the planning and enormous encouragement of the highly motivated chairperson and the members of the JJ committee, today's program is being conducted in the august presence of my Lord Honorable the Chief Justice. At this moment, let us recollect the words of Kofi Annan. I quote, "There's no trust more sacred than the one the world holds with the children. There's no duty more important than ensuring that their rights are respected, that their welfare is protected, that their lives are free from fear and want, and that they can grow up in peace." I unquote. Thus, children are the most vulnerable and valuable citizen in our society, and we owe them to give their challenges and needs utmost attention and care. Among this vulnerable population, otherwise able children stands out facing greater challenges and risks than their peers. This is a group that needs not only the care but also protection, early intervention, specialized attention, and services that listen to them and amplify their voice in a world that often overlooks their unique needs. The central idea of this consultation today, as per the guidelines of Juvenile Justice Committee of Honorable Supreme Court of India, is of twofold. Firstly, aim to review existing schemes, mechanisms established already for children with disabilities who fall within the legal categories described by Juvenile Justice Act. Additionally, to set targets for the development and action plan. Today, many critical legal frameworks enshrine the protection of children with disabilities. However, UNICEF's 2022 fact sheet on children with disabilities paints a troubled picture of their reality. They are overrepresented in institutions and child care facilities. The mortality rate of these children are 100 times higher than others. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's begin this session today, which is a significant step forward in our collective effort to ensure that every child, regardless their ability, is afforded the rights and opportunities they deserve. So let us start the program by lighting of the lamp. I request all the dignitaries to kindly proceed to the lighting of the lamp as we begin this significant event. It's a tradition for the ceremonious lamp symbolizes the dispelling of darkness. May I request Durga Bhavani Garu, Protection Officer, to kindly assist my Lord and other dignitaries. It's my pleasure to welcome Srimati A. Suri Kumari Garu, Secretary, Department of Women, Child, Differently Abled and Senior Citizens onto the dais. I request Aishwarya to present sapling to ma'am. Let's welcome Sri Soni George Kutti Garu from UNICEF. I request Ms. Anusha to present sapling. Now may I request Dr. A. Vijay Chandra Reddy Garu, Professor of Psychiatry, AIMS Mangalgiri, to please come on to the dais. I request Ms. Aradhya to present sapling. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming Sri B. Ravi Prakash Reddy Garu, Department of Differently Abled, Transgender and Senior Citizens. I request Ms. Swati to present sapling to our guests. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to welcome B. Lavanya Veni Garu, Director for Social Welfare Department. I request Ms. Harita to present sapling to our guests. Let us welcome Srimati S. Bhargavi Garu, Secretary, Tribal Welfare, Nagamalleshwari to present the sapling. Let us welcome Sri S. Satish Kumar Garu, Superintendent of Police, Guntur District. I request Ms. Sagarika Soumya to present sapling. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming Sri B. Srinivas Rao Garu, State Project Director, Samagra Siksha. I request Varshini to present sapling to the guests. Let's welcome Sri K. Kannababu Garu, Secretary for AP Social Welfare. I request Ms. Nagasudha Varshini to present sapling to our guests. May I request Sri M.T. Krishna Babu Garu, Special Chief Secretary, Health, Medical and Family Welfare. I request Nagamalleshwari to present sapling to our guests. I request Sri M. Venugopal Reddy Garu, Director of Department of Women Development, Child Welfare and Juvenile Welfare and Correctional Services to come on to the dais. I request Venkat Ratnam to present sapling to the guests. May I request Ms. Nagalakshmi Garu, District Collector, to please come on to the dais, and Ms. Aishwarya to present sapling. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Honorable Srimati Justice Kiranmayi Mandava Garu, Member Juvenile Justice Committee, AP High Court and Judge of High Court of Andhra Pradesh, who is known for her dedication and unwavering commitment. Please come on to the dais, ma'am. I request Ms. Lata to present sapling to her ladyship. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Honorable Srimati Justice Venkat Jyotirmayi Pratapa Garu, Member Juvenile Justice Committee, AP High Court and Judge High Court of Andhra Pradesh, who is known for her keen legal sight focused on children's rights. Please come on to the dais. I request Tulasi to present sapling. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in inviting Dr. Justice V.R.K. Krupasagar Garu, Member Juvenile Justice Committee, AP High Court and Judge of High Court of Andhra Pradesh, to please come on to the dais. Ms. Varshini to present sapling to his lordship. May I request Honorable Srimati Justice V. Sujata Garu, Member Juvenile Justice Committee, AP High Court, who is known for her simplicity and keen in child rights, onto the dais. I request Ms. Nagasudha Varshini to present sapling to her ladyship. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming another illustrious judge, composed and highly knowledgeable, Honorable Sri Justice G. Narendra Garu, Chairperson, Juvenile Justice Committee, AP High Court and Judge of High Court of Andhra Pradesh. I request Register Vigilance Garu to escort my lord, and may I request Ms. Nagamalleshwari to present sapling to his lordship. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in inviting the son of the soil of Ramban of Jammu and Kashmir, which is the abode of Mata Saraswati Shaktipeetham, and which place the water spring is believed to have miraculous healing powers, and experienced legal pundit, who are very fortunate for us to have as Chief Justice of High Court of Andhra Pradesh. Now may I request my Lord Honorable Sri Justice Dheeraj Singh Thakurji, Honorable the Chief Justice of High Court of Andhra Pradesh, please come on to the dais. I request Venkat Ratnam to present the sapling. May I request Sri V. Prasanna Venkatesh Garu, Secretary for AP Social Welfare, to please come on to the dais. May I request Varshini to present the sapling. Ladies and gentlemen, we continue our program. It is a great pleasure to introduce a very special and heartwarming segment. We are honored to have a group of talented, differently abled children. We will have they'll lead us in prayer. Please welcome Mahita, Deepika, Yashwant, Sahiti, Nagalakshmi with a warm round of applause.
Namaskar. All of us are having been welcomed in a very fine way. May I summon the wholehearted wishes, commitments of this assemblage to thank Right Honorable the Chief Justice and the distinguished Chairman and other members of the Juvenile Justice Committee. We have assembled here to do two things. One, to realize what they call social justice, and the path for it is going to be drawn today. And there are two motives. One I have noticed is no child is left behind. And the purpose of this meeting is to achieve what are the next steps, to draw out the plan as to what are the next steps. Honorable High Court of Andhra Pradesh and the Government of Andhra Pradesh join hands together, and as a result of it, this meeting is convened. We are all eager to listen to sweet speeches of Honorable Chief Justice and Honorable Chairman and other distinguished persons who have been into this real work. Only is a matter of normal protocol. The present task that is assigned to me is a matter of verbal speech. And as all of us know, one of the biggest species in humans, they can't fly like a bird, leap like a leopard, climb like a monkey, and can't see like an eagle. However, the endowment given by the God is all our faculties are intact, ability to think. But deprivation of these things we call limitations. Limitation in terms of our physical body, limitations in terms of rational thinking. All those deficiencies and parameters you call them disability. Now we call them differently able. So disability in one sphere may not necessarily be a matter of condemnation, and they have got their own abilities. David Shapiro has recorded in one of the finest books called TASSC, a great journalist and lawyer, that he happened to be visiting various countries, various institutions, where in one of the hospitals meant for children with mental disabilities, he had found one extraordinary child. The child is retardation, however, one great ability which no other human being normally could possess was that handful of pins were taken and they were thrown into the sky, and the child, by the time all those pins fell down, counted, they were found to be 256 men. And that Shapiro records. The boy who cannot really speak, who cannot really walk, do so many things, cannot understand many things, but he has got this ability. Now, why do we have these examples? These examples are only collected only to see that we need not actually destined everything to future. There are a few things that the policy makers and all of us together can do certain things to help these children. Now, what is it we require to achieve? Because the enactments have been there since a long time. We have not lost for 30-40 years, meant for children, starting from 1960 Children's Act. Today, the Juvenile Justice Care and Protection of Children Act 2022. We have got enactments about our mental health, and we have got enactments about the physical disabilities and the rights that are required to be there and all that. Therefore, there is a legislative policy, and there are sincere officers who have been implementing it. And then still do we find that everything is fine or there is some disconnect. Always it happens when you are working. A disconnect occurs. It is to plug those gaps to find out what exactly has to be done. At the national level, Honorable Supreme Court of India is going to conduct a national level stakeholders meet. It is their lordship's vision that percolated down, and after a series of meetings held by our Honorable Chairman and distinguished members of the JJC, this meeting has become a reality. And only one thing that I can urge all of you is just listen to a small story I will wind up. While Socrates was there, one of his followers, he was asking him, what is the secret of success? Socrates looked at him and said, that meet me tomorrow in the morning at the riverside. So the boy went with him. In the morning they met at the riverside. They started walking towards the river and into the water, and they went up to neck deep. Then all of a sudden Socrates, what was the neck of the boy? Pushed it down into the water, submerged him into the water. And the boy was struggling so hard to get up, but Socrates was strong enough to push him down. While the boy was turning blue, he brought out the neck. And the first thing the boy did was to gasp for air and a deep breath. Then Socrates asked him, what did you think that you wanted to have while you were underwater? He said, sir, it's air. Now success comes only when you really aspire as you aspire for air. Any task that is assigned to us, only when you aspire as you aspire for breathing air, only then success comes. I believe, my Lord, all of us have assembled here with all that sincerity and commitment to do the work that is assigned to us and to draw out, to take stock of the things that have occurred so far and to find out what is best with us and present the same for others to emulate, and we will attend all those stakeholders meet to find out what best is available elsewhere. And with this, I thank one and all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam. We are fortunate to hear your Lordship's thoughts and insights on this important conference. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming our esteemed Chief Guest, who is compassionate and considerate, Honorable Sri Justice Veer Singh Thakurji, Honorable the Chief Justice of High Court of Andhra Pradesh, to deliver the presidential address.
Dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, all the stakeholders, dear children, ladies and gentlemen. Before I formally start reading my written speech, I just wanted to share with you a few facts which I happen to notice today morning in regard to how vulnerable children are throughout the world, and India is no exception. So what I saw from the report which was tabled in the year 2023 by the National Crime Record Bureau shows that there were about 1,62,000 offences recorded against children. 1,62,000. There were about 83,350 cases of children who went missing. And out of this 83,350 children, while 20,380 were males, 62,946 were females. The report further suggests that out of the missing children, 20,000 approximately were recovered, males, and 60,281 females were recovered. So you can imagine that according to the report, at least 2,946 female children could not be recovered at all. There is another startling fact which I noticed from the report, that as compared to the year 2021, there was an increase in percentage terms in crimes against children, which reflected approximately 7.5%. So you can imagine it is keeping pace, as if it is keeping pace, maintaining equality with the rate of inflation. And this is a very disturbing feature. Kidnapping and abduction were mainly the crimes which were recorded, that reflected in a percentage term approximately 45%. Officers from the police department, perhaps, if I'm not mistaken on my these figures, will perhaps agree with this. POCSO cases, there was an increase as compared to the figures in 2021. There was an increase for the year 2022. And why is it that there is an increase at a rate of 7% approximately every year, and one doesn't need rocket science to accept the fact that there is an increase, because they can't defend themselves and they are vulnerable. And therefore, the system needs to protect them. How does the system protect them? So we have two categories in the Juvenile Justice Act. One is those children who come in conflict with law, and those who are in protection. Children in conflict with law are much lesser in numbers as compared to children who need care and protection. So one can understand that if 83,350 children went missing, out of which 3,000 female children are never recovered, so you can imagine what must be their condition, how would they be abused, exploited, mentally, physically. So it is very difficult to even comprehend the consequences. With a view to have some deterrence, keeping in view the increased number of cases under POCSO, the act was enacted prescribing veteran punishments. I'm not sure as to whether the punishments which are being prescribed under the Act in fact have any deterrent effect at all. If it were so, then there would be not this type of an increase on a yearly basis in such like cases. If I remember correctly, in Andhra Pradesh, according to the report of NCRB, out of about 1,004 cases under POCSO Act, approximately 900 cases were such where the assault was committed by a person who was known to be girl. So it appears the message which the lawmakers wanted to send to deter the offenders has not really worked. But how can it be made to work? So I believe, according to section 43 perhaps of the POCSO Act, 43 I think, right publicity is supposed to be given among the general public about the various provisions of the Act. And this I would consider was an attempt by the lawmakers to ensure, firstly, that those children who are assaulted sexually or are harassed sexually are made aware, and even their parents and guardians are made aware that there is a way in law which prescribes a methodology whereby if you lodge a complaint, strictest of possible punishment can be imposed. The purpose of giving wide publicity in print and other media, to my mind, also is with a view to send a message to the general society that don't consider a child as totally without any defense, and that if you are caught, you will be punished severely. And according to the provisions of the POCSO Act, for a sexual assault, perhaps the punishment which is imposable is up to life and meaning for the rest of the life of the accused. So I was only wondering that if we see that there has been a systematic rise in percentage terms in the crimes against children with reference to the POCSO Act, where have we faltered? Is it because we have not carried the message to the general public and the people, as the offenders, are still under a belief that look here, because the child is small, he or she won't know, won't be in a position to report the offense, and therefore we can go scot-free? Is that the feeling? If that is the feeling, then that needs to be dispelled. And how can we dispel it? Through advertisement, through propagation. And you know, I personally feel that the provisions of the POCSO Act, while it may prescribe harsh punishment, can also land children in trouble, like school children, who may be booked for crimes committed against other children in schools without knowing the repercussions, and therefore may fall on the wrong side of law and may come in conflict with law and come under the purview of the Juvenile Justice Act. Therefore, I think there has to be a concerted effort to ensure that this particular message be sort of disseminated in various fora, in various colleges, in schools. What I was thinking is, by coming on the way in this 48 minutes drive from my residence to this place, was that is it possible to, and it is possible, to have data that out of these 1,400 cases of POCSO, for example, I'm just taking as an example, who were the offenders? Did they belong to the lowest strata of the society? They were ignorant. Or were they belonging to affluent families, middle class families? Were they educated, not educated? Were they college-going students? Were they school-going students? If this data and information is available, then just as marketing companies, you see, through the use of artificial intelligence, target their prospective clients for selling their products, similarly by use of such tools, we can target that particular section of the society in that particular region, in that particular area, in that particular school, college, gram panchayat, within the jurisdiction of a district collector, police commissioner, superintendent of police.
So why can't we have a model? And I think the officers available today here would perhaps think on those lines. And I am told that by one of the principal district judges when I last was passing through Nellore, that there were a number of
POCSO cases pending in the courts, and the numbers are increasing. Therefore, that is just one of the thoughts which came to my mind. We gather here today not just as participants in a conference, but as architects of a more inclusive and just society. The theme of our deliberations, protection of rights of children living with disabilities, is not just a matter of law, but a measure of our humanity. It is a testament to our collective conscience. Let us begin by acknowledging the fundamental truth that disability is not inability. Every young soul, no matter their challenges, carries within them a spark of infinite possibility. Our task is not merely to protect, but to empower, not just to care, but to enable. In the words of Mahatma Gandhi, the true measure of any society can be found in how it treats its most vulnerable members. The children we discuss today, those in conflict with law and those in need of care and protection, are not just recipients of our compassion, they are holders of rights. Our Constitution, the bedrock of our democracy, enshrines the principles of equality and dignity for all. Article 39A envisages that the state shall secure that the operation of the legal system promotes justice, on a basis of equal opportunity and shall in particular provide free legal aid by suitable legislation or schemes or in any other way to ensure that opportunities for securing justice are not denied to any citizen by reason of economic or other disabilities. The United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, adopted in 2008, to which India is a state party, in Article 7 requires state parties to take all necessary measures to ensure the full enjoyment by children with disabilities of all human rights and fundamental freedoms on an equal basis with other children. It emphasizes that in all actions concerning children with disabilities, the best interest of the child
Shall be a primary consideration. It also calls on the state parties to ensure that children with disabilities have the right to express their views freely on all matters affecting them, their views being given due weight in accordance with their age
and maturity on an equal basis. The Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act 2016 is a landmark legislation that aims to protect and promote the rights of persons with disabilities, including children. The Act recognizes 21 categories of disabilities and mandates several affirmative measures by the government authorities to enable persons with disabilities to live with dignity and participate fully in all aspects of life. Chapter 5 of the Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act 2016, titled Education, is of great significance. Section 16 casts a duty on educational institutions to provide inclusive education to children with disabilities and take measures such as admitting them without discrimination, making campuses and facilities accessible, providing reasonable accommodation, support and transportation facilities. Now here I pause for a minute. When we talk about providing inclusive education to children with disabilities and take measures such as admitting them without discrimination, I know as a matter of fact, one of my very old classmates in school unfortunately had a child who suffered physical disabilities. The father single-handedly somehow managed to raise her. There's a very good missionary school in Jammu. He persuaded the principal, they had been reluctant initially, to admit her. She was admitted, and then I was told by him how his life had changed suddenly, because he was not very affluent, but he would go in the morning in the car, pick up his daughter who was small, leave her to the school, come back, and then pick her up again. As the child grew in age, she put on weight. From class 1 to class 11, he would carry her. And now, when she was in class 1, she was on the ground floor. When she went to class 2, she was perhaps shifted to the second floor, then to the third, fourth, and then fourth floor. There were no lifts in the school. And this man used to carry that child who had grown up to a full-grown girl, starting in class 10 or 11, carrying her physically up without any help. You can imagine the amount of stress without there being any help from any source, which a parent may face in life raising such a child. But if such a child were to come in any of the institutions which are envisaged under the Juvenile Justice Act, how would the system respond? So supposing a child who is brought up in a home, whether in conflict with law or whether requiring care and protection, and she has to be given her legal right of education, inclusive education. She has to be admitted in a school along with all other children. How would the system manage to ensure that she is treated equally and she's not refused admission only because the system cannot provide her transport to the school from such a home, or there is nobody to carry her, or where the school has classes on the higher floors, there are no lifts. I mean, these are all practical difficulties. And I'm sure I could see from today's minute-to-minute program and the various sessions that are fixed today, that parents are also here of children who have some physical disabilities. And I think their voices are the most important voices which we must all hear to see as to what are their difficulties and how the system can be improved in that context. Section 17 mandates specific measures to promote and facilitate inclusive education, such as conducting surveys every 5 years to identify children with disabilities, establishing adequate teacher training institutions, appointing teachers qualified in Braille and Sign Language, training professionals to support inclusive education, establishing resource centers, promoting the use of appropriate augmentative and alternative communication, providing books and learning material in accessible formats, and making suitable modifications in curriculum and examination system. Now we have a host of judgments, starting from Vikas Kumar versus UPSC, Rajneesh Kumar Pandey versus Union of India, where the courts have time and again reiterated the need to take action in this particular case, in these particular cases. I will not go through the judgments because perhaps all the stakeholders, including the officers, members of the juvenile justice committees, may fully be aware. I'm constrained for time, therefore I'll just skip a few issues. Mental health and invisible challenges. As we discuss disabilities, let us broaden our perspective, and mental health issues, often invisible, can be equally debilitating. The Mental Health Care Act of 2017 recognizes the rights of persons with mental illness. We must integrate this understanding into our child protection systems. Children with intellectual disabilities or those on the autism spectrum face unique challenges in navigating the justice system. We must develop protocols and training programs to ensure that these children are not further traumatized by their interactions with law enforcement and judicial processes. The diversity of stakeholders present here today, from government departments to NGOs, from medical professionals to legal experts, is quite heartening. It underscores a fundamental truth that protection of children's rights is not the responsibility of any single entity, but a collaborative endeavor requiring an effort by the society in general. I therefore urge each one of you to lead this conference with not just increased awareness, but with a commitment to action. Whether you are a policymaker, a frontline worker, or a concerned citizen, you have the power to make that difference. Let us pledge to build a society where every child, regardless of ability or circumstance, can dream, aspire, and achieve. In protecting their rights, we are not just fulfilling the legal or moral obligation, we are investing in the very soul of our democracy and the future of our great nation. Thank you.
Reflections of His Lordship's spirit and commitment towards the cause is a beacon of inspiration for all of us, madam. Thank you, madam. Ladies and gentlemen, it's our privilege to invite Honorable Sri Justice J. Narendra, a distinguished personality in the field of law and justice and child rights, to share his invaluable insights.
Chief Justice, my dear brother and sister judges, dignitaries of the rise, dignitaries of the rise, and more important, and the star of today's function, I can say, our children who have come from different places. Their very presence has ensured a happy home. Good morning to all. I've been tasked with the work of presenting the keynote address, which will be the underlying policy or policy statement of this gathering today. As we all know, the JJ Act was enacted in 2000 in order to provide for protection of children. The Act came to be amended in the year 2006 and 2011. And despite the amendments, the erstwhile Act was found wanting on several fronts, including steps to abate the abuse of children, address the inadequacies of measures and facilities, rehabilitation measures, modulating adoptions, role and accountability of institutions, and importantly, upliftment of children in need of care and protection, and to bring in measures to address the issue of increasing number of crimes by the juveniles and so also the juvenile victims. In this regard, the Parliament enacted the Juvenile Justice Care and Protection of Children Act of 2015. Apart from focusing on the need for increased measures in the domain of care and protection, the Parliament also visualized and addressed the worrying aspect of increasing number of child offenders, and that too in the commission of heinous crimes. Apart from addressing the issues aforestated, the Act also focused towards measures to be adopted for rehabilitation and social reintegration of juveniles in conflict with law, and also addressed a wide range of issues relating to adoption of the orphaned, abandoned and surrendered children. With this vision, the Act of 2015 came to be enacted with the objective of consolidating the law with regard to children and juveniles in conflict in a more comprehensive manner. It would not be out of place if we were to state that the quest and vision of the authorities is to ensure the upliftment of children in need of care and protection and alleviate the juveniles who have fallen foul of the law. This conference of stakeholders is an extension of the tenor, vision and objective of the concept visualized by the Supreme Court Juvenile Justice Committee, headed by Honorable Justice B.V. Nagaratna, Judge Supreme Court of India. The primary object of today's stakeholders meeting is not merely to ensure the collaboration of stakeholders and provide a platform for the confluence of the minds of the men that matter, but is organized with the larger object of publicizing the rights that have been guaranteed by the state to children who have been subjected to violence and who have become victims of mindless acts by perverted minds. The theme of today's collaboration is not merely to share the concerns of the stakeholders, but also to send out a strong message to the wild thinking who believe they can render violence on the little flowers and get away with it. Today's conference is organized in right earnest, not just as a mere show of solidarity, but to demonstrate to one and all that the might of the state is at the beck and call of the most vulnerable section of the society, civil society, that is the precocious children. It is the stated truth that the children are the future of any nation. Today's program has been enthused by the apprehensions expressed by the various stakeholders, more pertinently with regard to lack of data relatable to children with disabilities. In this regard, the Juvenile Justice Committee of the High Court of Andhra Pradesh, in an effort to consolidate the data and the work being rolled out by the various stakeholders, initiated steps in the form of interaction with the various stakeholders. Meetings were held, and the result of such meetings acted as an eye-opener to the committee, to state the least. Children whose votes are compounded by their inherent disabilities were not to be left to the mercies or vagaries of few individuals, or to individual whims and fancies. And in order to ensure that the measures envisioned by the state reaches the beneficiaries, a decision was taken to hold this stakeholders meet today. And a culmination of all the interaction between the committee and the stakeholders has resulted in today's conference. The sheer number of stakeholders who are collaborating today is a proof of the commitment towards the cause of children in need of care and protection, and juveniles in conflict with law, and juveniles who are victims with special reference to children with disabilities. I use the word commitment without any reservation in view of the backdrop in which this conference came about. I proudly proclaim so in view of the timely and time-bound responses by the stakeholders to our meeting. The entire exercise commenced and culminated in today's conference in a matter of about less than 15 working days. A word of congratulations to all the stakeholders who have put their best foot forward to make today a reality, and that too even in such a short time. An appreciable feature has been the proactive approach adopted by the stakeholders who have gone about in playing out their roles without expecting any handholding, and it is this which emboldens me to state and assure the children of the state that they can be rest assured of the benefits and the various programs reaching them at their doorsteps, and to be rest assured that caring and protective arm of the state would always be encompassing them. By the above statement, I do not intend to convey that all is done and dusted and paint a rosy picture. The intention of today's collaboration is to be seen as the start of a marathon race that is to be run endlessly, and an affirmation of the stakeholders to continuously run so long as it takes, and as long as it takes. Today's gathering has nothing to do with any chest thumping and proclamation of any victory or achievement, but to underline the message that stakeholders mean business and who will abide by the mandate cast upon them by the statute. The measures that have been envisioned and put in place are many, and elucidation of the same I leave it to the concerned stakeholders. Today's collaboration is to demonstrate the multi-pronged or multifaceted approach of the stakeholders to ensure the care, protection, alleviation, emancipation of the children with a focal thrust towards children with disabilities and children who are victims of violent and perverted minds. The topics of the day not only highlight but also focus the measures rolled out by the various wings of the state to address the cause of children with disability, and in particular children with disability who have been rendered victims. Today's exercise is intended to be an exhibition of the various measures that have been put in place and are available in order to enrich and make meaningful lives of the juveniles and the children. Last but not the least, we have created an abbreviation called TASSC, which sounds more like the English word task. And it is with a purpose we have coined that abbreviation so as to make this an annual program where we keep restating our commitment and ensuring that shortfalls, lacunae are met every year, and we can report our progress and thereby ensure a complete enrichment of the lives of the beneficiaries, our little children. Thanking you all. Good day. Wish you all a very good day.
Thank you, my lord, for the keynote address. The speech of His Lordship is a manifestation of His Lordship's wisdom, which always goes with the cause of protection of vulnerability. Before concluding the inaugural session, may I request my Lord Honorable the Chief Justice of Delhi, Sri Dheeraj Singh Thakurji, to present small gift hampers to the children. inaugural session. It's officially to the members of the conference. I would like to extend a heartfelt gratitude to each and everyone for taking your time for your incredibly hectic schedules to participate in this critical dialogue. Thank you. first session of the conference. The topic for the session is availability of services for children with disabilities, early detection and intervention, including children in conflict with law and child victims. The topic for presentation: health services, village doctors, district early intervention centers and Bhavika centers. The presentation will be delivered by Sri M.T. Krishna Garu, Special Chief Secretary of Health, Medical and Family Welfare.
Good morning. Honorable Chairperson, Juvenile Justice Committee, Honorable Pradesh High Court, Honorable Sri Justice G. Narendra Sir, the members of the committee, Honorable Srimati Justice Sujata Madam, Honorable Sri Justice Krupa Sagar Sir, Honorable Srimati Justice Venkata Jyotirmayi, Honorable Srimati Justice Kiranmayi, Honorable Srimati Justice Sumati Madam, Honorable Justice Nemagada Venkateswarlu Garu, the members of the judiciary, judicial officers, NGOs, all other stakeholders present on this annual state level stakeholders conference. Today, just I wanted to brief the overall view of how the government is trying to identify the children with disabilities with a systematic screening and take care of their needs, duly involving various stakeholders, including the provision of service of district early intervention centers and other facilities what we have developed. This is even though the topic is juvenile justice, juvenile the homes, etc., that children in conflict with the law and children in need of care and protection, and also victims of sexual violence. On the suggestion of Honorable Justice Narendra Sir, we are giving overall view of how the government is dealing with the children with disabilities. One is we have district early intervention centers. We will be informing you during the course of the presentation. Then school health and wellness ambassadors. We have trained 2 teachers in each of the school to enable them work as school health ambassadors. Then provision of various special newborn care units and neonatal intensive care units, and also nutritional rehabilitation centers across the state, and mental health problems in children with conflict with law. So how we start identifying these children with 4 disabilities. The 4 disabilities are defects at birth, deficiencies, diseases of childhood, and developmental delays including disability. So this is for any child who is born at any of the institution, any of the health institution. They are first checked, screened by pediatrician, and any birth-related defects will be entered in Matru Shishu Sanrakshana portal, which will be a record, and the treatment, the referral treatment will be given. Similarly, the people, the children, the newborn children are having any problems are referred to SNCU, NICU, and their record is maintained. The state has started family doctor program where every 2,500 to 3,000 population is made as a unit, and village health clinic is established there. Each of the village health clinics will be having one MLHP, mid-level health provider, who is a BSc nursing graduate, AMM and ASHA workers. Almost every 3,000 population on the place is being served with almost 5 to 6 health functionaries, which includes BSc nursing graduate. So that is the system they are trained for taking care of screening, early screening, and the doctor. We have a family doctor program where every village the doctor, PHC doctor, visits twice a month. So on a fixed schedule, first Monday, third Monday, first Tuesday, third Tuesday is a very fixed schedule. And the same doctor will come to that village repeatedly. That is how the bond is established. Apart from giving OP services and other services in the village, the doctor has to go to Anganwadi center, one Anganwadi center from 12 to 1, and 2 to 4 he has to spend time in the school taking care of the screened children. So first initially the Anganwadi as well as school children are screened by the team of the ANM, the mid-level health provider and ASHA workers. Then the doctor visit, during the doctor visit, doctor checks and then refers the cases which requires attention to district early intervention center. Once the district early intervention center, whatever they can treat, that will be done. The complicated cases will be referred to the center of excellence in each of the disability. This is how the screening is done. The screening is done for height, weight, body mass index, nutritional status, and skin issues, and ophthalmic, all the issues. And this is put in the app. And when the medical officer comes, he takes up the screening from head to toe, and they will be entered in the app. So this is no problem means the green, and some issues are there which can be medically managed, some issues which needs referral, the proper marking is given. Right. This is the early intervention centers. We have 34 district early intervention centers in the state, and the staff, almost we have around 13 staff in each of these centers, with all the facilities, including pediatrician, the dental doctor, medical officer, clinical psychologist, audiologist cum speech therapist, and early intervention and special educator. All these people who are trained in taking care of the children with disabilities. So the DEIC level, the children will be taken care as per the advice of Honorable Chairman. We are strengthening the tie-up for bringing the children along with their parents, giving the support of ANM and MLHP. Sir. Earlier, we used to give support to only cases requiring surgical intervention. Now, because these other cases also needs some persuasion for them to come, so we just proposing around 500 rupees for each of the visit, such that the transportation charges can be covered for the parent as well as the child. So this is some of the defects, because cleft lip and palate is common. So we have identified total entire state. We have done screening and identified the center of excellence, Smile Train, Seven Hills Hospital, Visakhapatnam, and Phenomenon Gannavaram Bird Hospital as the referral center of excellence. Similarly, retinopathy and prematurity, eye hospitals, 5 are identified where the services are given. Cochlear implants, so before 5 years, if they are child, especially the hearing problems can be identified at the early stage. Up to 5 years, we can have a cochlear implants. It is a costly, around 12 lakhs for both and 6 lakhs for one side. So, but the government is giving free of cost under Dr. NTR Vaidya Seva. So, these cochlear implants will give a better result when the people, the hearing disability can be corrected by implanting the cochlear implant in the brain. Then hearing aids are given by Swaroop Charitable Trust. So similarly, the children with heart, congenital heart disease, we have Padmavati Hospital at Tirupati, sir, is a referral hospital, center of excellence. Almost every month, around 15 to 30 surgeries are taking place, especially the children with heart diseases, etc. Then health clinics, we have taken up around 34 district early intervention centers. To go to the centers, we are providing now 5,000 rupees per child, sir, for these referral centers, as that they can go get the treatment free of cost. This is to cover the transportation and incidental expenditure at those centers. The state is awarded with award for appreciation, sir, for the activity we have taken up for the identification and managing the children with disabilities. So this is with the bone deformities. Now Amara Hospital Tirupati has come forward to take up free of cost as their CSR. We are identifying these people, the children with bone deformity at this age up to around 5 to 6 years, that can be corrected much more effectively. Next, club foot also. This is Cure India International has come up with foot braces after the surgery. So it is also one of the effective program where with club foot, the early stage itself, the child can be treated and he can at least walk freely subsequently. So this is the overall status, sir. Actually, the children identified with various defects and who are getting the who have got the treatment. It is of course difficult to convince the parents to bring the child to the center of means referral center or center of excellence. But we are doing our best to ensure that all the children takes this help, and we are also attaching our field level staff for them to create comfort and create confidence such that the services can be given much more effectively. Almost we have given around 1.57 lakh spectacles during the last year. All the children in the schools are screened for refractive errors and given. For those who are requiring surgeries, etc., surgeries are conducted. The main challenge is developmental delays, including this disabilities. This is neurominor motor impairment. That is anything related to brain, because it needs longer treatment, and also speech therapy. All that needs multiple sessions. So this is where we are now concentrating to ensure that each of the visit we give some financial support so that that can be continued without burden on the parents of the child. So this is a school health and wellness program wherein 2 teachers in each of the school are trained as health and wellness ambassadors. They conduct sessions, they interact with the students, they identify the disabilities, and also they interact with the doctor who is coming, and they will be helping in identification and also referral. Next. These are the programs being conducted in the schools. Next. These are the special newborn care units and neonatal intensive care units. The children who are having some issues, especially at a birth, unless they are treated effectively, that will be a lifelong disability for them. To ensure that that will not turn to lifelong disability, we have created almost 62 SNCUs, and especially in tribal area also, we have given 23 mini SNCUs such that it is taken care. And NICUs also, we have given all the teaching hospitals to take care of the problems of the children during the early days. So nutritional rehabilitation center is one more initiative. Actually, the children, Sam and Ma'am, the children with the less weight and also stunting without growth, they are specifically identified and they are brought to the nutritional rehabilitation centers, and they are given special diet for 15 days to 1 month till they become normal, in the sense weight gains, and then they will be sent back. The parent accompanying the child also is given 250 rupees to compensate, 250 rupees per day to compensate the wage losses, to encourage them to stay with the child, especially for a longer duration. So mental health program is one of the major issue. Government of India has, after the Mental Health Act, we have established mental health unit at each of the districts. So this is having a psychologist, psychiatrist, and social worker. So in especially in the juvenile home, what we generally observe is the children are facing trauma and abuse histories, family separation and instability, peer conflicts and bullying, academic and of course behavioral struggles, and also limited access to resources and support. So we have a system of screening assessment, individualized treatment for the identified children, therapy and counseling. So medication management, taking up medication management to them. And all the staff of the juvenile home are trained, and also peer support is provided. Family is critical here, so family also has to be involved to ensure that the treatment gives better result. So recreational and creative activities, and also crisis intervention, and also collaboration with community resources. So this is the program where the district mental health team visit each of the juvenile home once in a month. Almost 2023-24, 241 counseling sessions are conducted, wherein the team visits each of the home for every month and observes and also takes follow-up of the child. And this year, first quarter, around 57 visits are already done. So way forward, we have to, of course, we are continuously in touch with other departments, social departments, women and child welfare department, education department, disabled welfare department, to track and also follow up all the children. So, and DEAC centers are strengthened to ensure that the basic, almost tertiary level of facilities are given, including referral to Center of Excellences. Now another DAC also at Bapatla is being started. So parents have to take a major role here. They need to be trained, counseled, and to ensure that they take follow-up action, because some of the disabilities can be tackled with maybe one or two interventions or surgeries, but many of the disabilities require long treatment, and they have to visit the centers multiple times, whether hospitals, DAC, or the Center of Excellence. So this is where the real challenge. So definitely with all the honorable judges taking this much interest in this area, I am sure that with your guidance we will be able to do much better work, sir. We will be in continuous touch. Thank you very much.
For providing us valuable insights into the health services available for children and disabilities, the role of doctors, the district early intervention centers, your expertise and experience in this field to understand the current landscape and identify opportunities for improvement. Thank you, sir. Now we are moving ahead. Next presentation on women development and child welfare by Srimati A. Suryakumari Garu, Secretary of the Women, Children, Differently Abled and Senior Citizens Department.
Distinguished Chairperson of the TASSC Committee, members, the senior judges, and all my colleagues over here. Sir, we talked about the commitment. Let me remind everyone in this hall that this hall is named after Dr. S.R. Sentinel, who is actually dedicated to the entire masses. We don't even marry for the sake of the backward classes. Our very presence in this hall, I think, doubles our commitment. The topic given to me is protection, right? I mean, the act which is made for the welfare of the disabled, we will quickly go through whatever has been already made. But definitely, the occasion reminds us that in this bracket, the children will not be ours specifically. After this August gathering, and maybe after the Supreme Court guidance, maybe we will be adding that also. What is the definition of person
known by this now, but then we have some doubts regarding whether this will be covered or not. For the sake of that, we'll quickly go through this. And one with the term physical, mental, intellectual or sensory impairment is called person with disability. And benchmark is 40%. Often we come across the jobs and other places where the reservation for disability is marked. The person without that benchmark, that is below 40%, is grabbing that opportunity. This is where all the persons associated, all the stakeholders may be sensitive enough for this. Next. When we talk about the types of disabilities, everyone will quickly remember that locomotive disability or visual impaired immediately into their mind when we talk about disabled. But then, other than hearing and special language problem, kids or adults, we have among us the intellectual disability also, and also the mental illness and disability due to neurological conditions, and recently added blood disorders, which have been long lasting among that particular patients throughout their life, maybe the sickle cell anemia or thalassemia, which actually impairs them to participate in their life on normal basis. And there are much worse conditions with persons with multiple disabilities who actually are not at all normal when compared to the rest of the four categories. Next please. Talking about the volumes, among the 12 lakh, we have the highest in the locomotive, next comes visual, next comes hearing. Mental illness is though less, but it is growing in the numbers, maybe because of the less physical activity, nuclear families, and less interaction with their peer groups. The multiple disability, of course, it is coming down, and the area-wise also we have given. Maybe the stakeholders who are working at the field level may notice this. Next please. This is the slide which clearly brings out, especially the children who are suffering with these needs and who are enrolled in the Samagra Shiksha program, which my colleague will be enlightening us with this particular program. Among these, you can even notice the difference among the total enrolled and those with the Samagra Shiksha. The rest might be over and above the age of that school group, or maybe below that. Next please. What does this act envisage? It envisages empowerment, dignity, non-discrimination, participation, equality of opportunity, and much important, not last but most important, accessibility, which actually opens up the doors for these category of people. As elders in the morning have emphasized, next please. The United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities in Paris, which was held in 2008, has led the path for this enactment. But it was enacted after 8 long years of deliberations and discussions to preserve the identities of these less privileged group, and it has came into force on 19th April 2017. Next please. And what do we foresee this act actually doing? We actually foresee women and children with these disabilities enjoy their rights equally with others, and then they have to be given an opportunity appropriately enough to freely express their views. And regarding the home and the family front, no child will be separated from the home or the family, unless otherwise he has that particular disability which the family is not able to support. Then comes the NGOs and then other government structures in place where we support them to for their daily living or minimum basic provisions for their life. Next please. Again, the important causes of the sections are without discrimination, we need to give them the education as well as the opportunity for all the other activities in life, and each building or campus, though government or non-government, they are supposed to provide a accessibility to the campus. Previously, CBSF was saying one parent was carrying the child all the floors in the school. That kind of situation should not occur. And the best thing to that is, I hope the ramp will equally be available for all the government as well as non-government buildings, because the lift may be not functional during the power breaks, but the ramp would be the ideal alternative for that. And the reasonable accommodation to these individual requirements is about the third section. Fourth will be academic and the social development. Opportunities for that academic and social development will be the thing. And the eighth one is providing the transport facilities, whether to school or whether to their hospitals or whether to their place of work. That is a prerogative which is specifically given. We have to stabilize ourselves with this one, as you have correctly in the sessions have pointed out. So monitor participation and progress in terms of attainment of level C is the section 7, and detection at the earliest stage is a sort of prevention than the cure, and government of AP is fully engaged in this already, and appropriate languages and modes and means of communication